Absolutely. I know, not feel. It's a fact.
Because when you're critical of, let's say, the Black community, oh, they love it, right? That's when you get a platform and you get all the plaudits and speaking engagements. But once you speak out against what's happening in Gaza, you're not that useful tool anymore.
Well, that was Candace Owens, and it was the lady Anna Kasparian, whatever her name is. She acts like she's an ally to the Black community, right? Now we seen her in the debate with that what's that W girl, man, that had she had the show over there in London. She had all those Black people on there, and at some point they end up turning on her, and then she switched conservatives. What's the hell is that girl name, man? The Bigfoot chick. Right? Y'all know what I'm talking about out there. Y'all put it in the comment section. But she ended up debating her and smashed her out. Because all that girl did was use Black talking points, right, that didn't make any sense to try to make herself relevant. Then she tried to go into conservatism. Her name is, I'm picturing her face, but her name is escaping me. But now she's sitting down, she's talking to Candace Owens. And she asked Candace Owens a specific question, man, that was very interesting about Candace Owens working with that protected class. But when you was, do you feel like you was being used as a tool when you was going in on your own people? Check this out.
Absolutely. I know, not feel. It's a fact.
Because when you're critical of, let's say, the Black community, oh, they love it, right? That's when you get a platform and you get all the plaudits and speaking engagements. But once you speak out against what's happening in Gaza, you're not that useful tool anymore.
Now, Candace Owens thinks that she's slick. I believe that she brought Anna on here to ask her these questions to try to ingratiate herself back into the Black community, back into the arms of Black people. Because she's going to go on and admit this. And she's going to blame it on the Daily Wire. And she's going to say those people over there that she was rolling with, they was funding her the whole time to go after the Black community, to say disparaging things about Black folks, to talk down to Black folks, to use faulty statistics to show why Black people deserve to be in the positions that they are, right? She did all kinds of vicious and mean and vile stuff. But the minute she started questioning them, they got rid of her, right? So now she's out here on the island by herself. And she's looking now to be a spokesman for the Black community, right? So she brings Anna on here to ask her these questions, and she comes out, she said, you know what? Man, listen, I was their pit bull.
That was one of the things that was really hard for me to contend with personally, because obviously when I was at the Daily Wire, we were actually kind of in the midst of the same topic, really, right? So it's like you're talking about a race. You're saying, okay, this thing happened. So they were saying October 7th happened. BLM was saying the George Floyd thing happened. This is going to be the impetus now. And they were doing things that, in my view, still to this day, were just wrong. I don't care what happened in Minnesota. You don't have the right to go into Target and grab a flat screen TV, right? And so I wanted to do a documentary. I wanted to dive deeper on the topic. And it was round of applause from the Daily Wire. This is amazing. Give her a platform. Well, then I watched virtually the exact same thing, right? Using race as an excuse, saying, oh, well, we have to do this for Jews. You had this event, this event that happened, which was singular, and then they tried to extrapolate it, and I'm going, well, it's still wrong, right?
Right.
Well, the law is the law. Like, morality is morality. Doesn't matter if a Black person does it or if a Jewish person does it. You don't get to rob and steal Palestinian homes.
Exactly.
And suddenly it was, you're an anti-Semite. You deserve to have nothing. You shouldn't even be allowed to travel to Australia because you are akin to Adolf Hitler.
That's
the
crazy.
Same people that gave me the platform. And so it was a very tough pill to swallow.
So Candace Owens is full of crap because she knows that she's been really going after, right? That protected class that she was working for over there and shindigging with the Daily Wire. Once they cut her off, man, she was in deep waters, right? She was in deep doo-doo. She had went away for a while. Her saving grace, the thing that saved her was the Charlie Kirk situation. When that situation happened with Charlie Kirk, it allowed her to bounce back because she saw a weakness in the game, and she's exploiting that, right? Because she understood, man, I've been talking down about Black people for so long, man, for these people, but the minute I even questioned them, man, they cut everything off. They said I deserve nothing, man, nothing, right? They wouldn't even let her travel right. She went against Macron's wife, the France president, calling his wife a man, right? She was just going hard in the paint. But she had these radical right-wing conservatives supporting her because a lot of them started to go against that country and protected class, right? But when Charlie Kirk was unalive, that just gave her the springboard to catapult herself back up. And she's built everything back up now since she was kicked off the Daily Wire for going against the grain, right? But a lot of people, well, not foundational Black Americans, we haven't forgotten about all the vicious and vile things. Like, she would go out of her way whenever she saw the Black community fighting for something, she would go out of her way to go against it. Y'all remember when she said she married for IQ, and then she, she popped up with this W man, right? And we like, what? Right? She would just say some of the most vicious things, and these people would do anything for money because she's going to lie and say she doesn't remember all of this race growing up. But remember, she had a racial discrimination case in college. But she's on Fox News right now saying that she don't remember all this race.
Obama, and Obama did a lot to tear this country apart. I do not remember when I was growing up having all of these race issues, okay? I really don't remember it. And then suddenly towards the end of Obama, we started hearing all of this rhetoric drummed up. It became white versus black all over again. And I say all over again, I shouldn't even say that because when I was alive, this was not an issue. It all became about race. And I really do think that they were laying down the groundwork for Hillary to run because they had already pre-selected her to be the president of the United States. So they started using that awful name-calling rhetoric, which they fell short of.
What did Obama do that drove
backed up
this
the police violence stuff? He backed up the myth of police. It's the myth of police brutality. I'm not done.
If they're wrong,
he added fire. He added gasoline to a fire that was simply untrue. The myth of police brutality as something that was a problem facing
the myth of police brutality.
Wow. 16 Black Americans during 20.
So you deny that police don't brutalize Black people and brown people?
White Americans and Hispanic Americans are shot at a higher rate than Black Americans.
That's just not true.
It's 100% true. It's a fact.
Why are the jails full of African Americans and brown people?
Because we commit crimes at a higher rate than Black Americans. And yes, we do. That's a fact. That's another fact.
But I think
it's 100% a fact. A researchable fact.
I think it is.
But see, she would go as far as to say that police brutality don't exist. When we know damn well that most of that stuff don't get reported. And 51% of all exonerations is Black people, man, in America, man. Candace Owens knows this stuff, but she was paid. But y'all remember when Derek Chauvin put his knee on that Black man's neck for 9 minutes, right? The whole world saw that. Candace Owens even saw it. Candace Owens even saw it. She went out of her way to protect the police, speak up for the police, and call him a drug addict. Say that he wasn't unalive because of the knee on his neck. It was for all kinds of other reasons. She even wrote like a book or a series or something about this stuff. Like, she was dedicated to Sam Bowen. She was dedicated to going all out. Right?
A 9-minute clip that came from somebody's cell phone without adding any context, without showing the full, the full police video, which they could have released. They refused to release the full body cam, which would have added more clarity to the fact that the media was lying. The media came out. Let's not forget this, Tucker. The media came out and told us that this was a man who was just getting his life together. He was a good, good member of society, and he got mixed up because a racist white police officer had it out for him and killed him. All of that fell apart. All of the facts came out, and all of that fell apart. We now know, of course, that he had enough fentanyl in him. It was 3 times the lethal dosage, 3 times lethal dosage in him when he died. But nobody cares because the media was successful in putting out a narrative, and they kept hitting that narrative. And the reason why the Democrats are happy is because they realize, of course, the media supports them. And now means the Democrats can get whatever they want because they can create a narrative, and then they can treat people like pawns and get them to basically say, if we don't get what we want, we will riot, we will loot, we will send these people out like soldiers to destroy your neighborhoods. And that is exactly what has happened. That has been the determination of this trial. The media and the Democrats now have enough power to bully and to lie to and to create propaganda and to successfully win. And that is what happened. And they are celebrating that win today. This was not a fair trial.
Only one side.
No person can say this was a fair trial.
You just got to take 3 steps back and acknowledge that only one side behaves this way. I mean, a jury in 1995 concluded that O.J. Simpson, despite DNA evidence, hadn't murdered 2 people, and there were no riots. But more to the point, there are a lot of people sitting behind, Trump voters sitting behind bars right now, have been for months, charged effectively with trespassing. We're not speculating. We've seen the charges.
What a freaking joke. Now, that's Tucker Carlson. We all know the Tucker Carlson. He's on there talking about the January 6th thing. But now he's strongly against Trump all of a sudden. And so is she. Right? You can't trust these charlatan weirdos, man. They go, man, they go wherever the wind is blowing the hardest, man. That's where they go. Now, mind you, that brother was handcuffed when he was on the ground with that knee on his neck. He was handcuffed. Candace know he was handcuffed, but they told Candace to go up there and say that. They told Candace to go up there and do that. What happened prior to him being on the ground handcuffed got to do with anything? Once he was on the ground, he wasn't resisting. Why do you still got the knee on his neck? Why didn't other police officers stop? Tell him to get up, and that's enough. Everybody stood around and watched, and it went on for the whole world to see. Candace Owens, your parents saw this, your cousins, everybody. When you go to the barbecue, they cool with you talking like this? You got family members that's okay with you talking like this? Then you got Tucker Carlson. Man, he look weird. You see how he just looks sunburned, like just so weird, right? He's defending Trump in that video, but now all of a sudden he's against Trump, right? Because he wants to run for president. She's against Trump. All this stuff is just political theater, and it's a joke, man. So she brought in Anna to interview her to try to make her look in a better light. That's all that was. Because Anna is so-called supposed to be for the black community and always, you know, playing the liberal side, like fighting on our behalf. We ain't buying Anna either. You could take all of them and throw them in the trash, man. We ain't with none of that stuff, man. We speaking on behalf of ourselves, man. But listen, these are all the vicious and vile things that she was saying. Now we found it out that she was actually being used as a tool to say these things. And she's admitting that now on the record. Man, please. Man, please. Y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about Candace Owens, man. What's your opinion, man? If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.